On today's Toy Spot, we're having a look at the McFarlane Toys Spawn Classic Series 20. We're looking today at Medieval Spawn 3. One of my favorite side characters, Medieval Spawn. I think this is probably one of the better Medieval Spawns that have been released. It sure beats the Medieval Spawn, I think, what was it, Medieval Spawn 1? Really, all the original Spawn toys are a little basic in design, but down below we've got a picture of Medieval Spawn, six popular characters from the Spawn comic, inspired by the art of Greg Capullo. Medieval Spawn. On the back of the package, other figures that you can get in this wave besides Medieval Spawn 3. We've got Clown 4, Violator 3, a box set of Overkill 3, Domina, I still don't know, and finally Spawn 6. There were several variants in this wave. One of the variants, of course, was the Clown that came with a manhole cover instead of the box of pizza. I kind of prefer the box of pizza, but I didn't get that one. There was a Violator. The only difference with the Violator was, I think, with what the Violator held. One was a heart, and one was something else. And then finally, there was the unmasked versus masked version of Spawn 6. But to see all the other McFarlane toys, do check out spawn.com. You'll see a lot of sports toys right now. Other sets that you can pick up are the McFarlane Movie Maniacs, as well as a Metallica box set. So if you are into Metallica, perhaps you should go and pick that up. But that is packaging aside. What I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to take a bit of a break. I'm going to get this opened up, and we're going to have a better look at Spawn Classic Series 20, Medieval Spawn 3. There's more to come, guys. Stay tuned. Well, let's start with the bad news first. Let's get the bad news out of the way. Unfortunately, as beautiful as the sculpt is on this particular figure, the one thing that this figure does have is extremely fragile pieces. We'll zoom in to the shield. Now, to find this figure in good condition outside a package with this shield intact, it would probably be next to impossible. But you'll see that in the package end of it, this shield had 3 arrows. The other 2 arrows, you're wondering, have disappeared. Where did they go? They're right here. They don't peg into place, my friends. They're actually just they're a part of, I guess they've been glued in, and taking these out of package, these broke right off. There's one left, one single arrow left, and I suspect it's not going to last very long at all. In fact, the moment I probably pack this away, that last arrow will be a thing of the past. Good idea on McFarlane Toys' part, but very bad execution. There certainly could have been easier ways, I think, to put arrows into the shield. So, not a good way to start the review, but I gotta say though, the shield still looks quite spectacular. You can see that it's kind of got a wood grain effect to it. Really painted nice. Got like the metal work of the sides of the mask going on there. On the underside there. Really nice. I mean, I would almost give the shield a rating on its own. I won't do that because that's just silly, but really nice work. We zoom back and we have a look at the extremely large and impressive Medieval Spawn. This is such a great figure. We'll zoom first to his face, or his mask, I guess, if you want to call it that. And we've got a medieval style mask of Medieval Spawn here. I love the armor work. It looks like armor plating. You can even see on the side there that the mask looks like it's part of his helmet. And he's wearing the helmet that keeps everything in place. You can also see that there's some horns in place on his shoulders. Very nice painted sculpt on the shoulder pad going on there. He also has another shoulder pad that you almost can't see because of his cape. There doesn't seem to be a way to really have it displayed where you can lift the cape up. But the fact that they put that there with the intent that you probably wouldn't see it anyways, solid work from the folks at McFarlane Toys. I really like his belt also. You can see one single skull on the belt. There's two skulls at the top there. But then on the side, there are also two other skulls. And if anything could be said for McFarlane Toys, if you did find these figures really dirt cheap, between the chains and the skulls, you would have lots to work with if you ever were into customizing. I also really like the paint that they put on the chest, the paint on the side gauntlets there of his arms. They've got all this metal work. You can even see, let's zoom in there, a gargoyle style knee pad, which I think is also some nice work. On the back, there is some other stuff going on there. You can see the strapping going on his leg, the rivets in his leg armor as well. It's one of those figures really that a very good example of a figure that didn't need to have detail where it was, but the fact that you find it, you can really see that they put a lot of effort into this particular figure. Let's not, of course, forget the cape, which is probably one of the cooler aspects of this figure. You've got this really nice draped over look, some weathering's done, several layers of different color put on the figure's cape. And let's not, of course, forget the bottom leg, which we've got a nice kind of gold color, got some gray, some dark red going on there. Just a really nice figure. Medieval Spawn is wielding a very large axe that you can take out of his hand. You should be able to take out of his hand. And it also even has this roping on it as well, which I think is awesome. Even on the end, there's a bit of like a mace ball that's attached to the very end handle of this large, almost Viking style axe. It's incredibly large. There's lots of blood all over it. Just really nice, solid work. Now you imagine this is a 2001 figure, so I think they did a bang up job. You can put the axe into his hand. Now unfortunately, the way that they have it, his one hand is closed. It's completely closed, so the only hand that's really going to hold this axe is this hand right here. But I think you can still get some really nice poses going where you can have him kind of turn to the side, holding kind of the axe to the side of his body. I think that looks really awesome. Speaking of articulation, Medieval Spawn, if I don't get my arm in the way here, has a rotation in the head. There is a rotation in the arm, a rotation in the hand. This arm is a rotation in the arm, a rotation swivel in the hand. There's a rotation in the waist. The legs, sorry, the cape keeps getting in the way here. The legs do have a swivel back and forth on both sides, a bend at the knee on both sides, and doesn't look like there's any articulation on the one foot, but on this foot there's a swivel around the knee area as well. So I think while unfortunately the other was the Spawn 6, while his articulation wasn't all that great, I think Medieval Spawn really excels in at least articulation for a 2001 figure, but he also excels in paint. The paint and sculpt on this guy is fantastic. Medieval Spawn I'm going to give an 8.52. If you're kind of thinking to yourself, I got my hand up to my forehead, I'm trying to think of a good Spawn figure to start my collection with, I can't think of a better figure to start a collection with than Medieval Spawn here from the McFarlane Toys Spawn Classic Series 20 of figures. And that's what we were looking at today on today's Toy Spot. We're having a look at the Medieval Spawn 3. Let me know down below what you guys would rate this figure. And as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye now.